I wasn't really planning to do a recording on politics. I was going to kind of wait a little while on that one. Well, we have a election happening in less than a month from now, so I thought I would kind of give a little bit of perspective on why I think it's really important, and unfortunately I don't think a lot of people are really paying attention to it. I teach college classes, and in one of my classes I was just talking about the election, and this was just a couple of days ago, and I was shocked to death that very few students actually even knew an election was coming up. There's a midterm election coming up. And in case you didn't follow the whole Supreme Court fiasco, people are really fired up about it. The problem with it is people aren't fired up enough, and it looks like we may end up in a situation where nobody votes. Nobody's voted historically, or historically nobody's voted, and therefore we keep getting the same people over and over again. Well, people are really upset and motivated to try to do something about this particular election. But what generally happens during most elections is people say they're going to participate, and sometimes they even register to vote and then just never do it. So what are some of the things that are really important for those who are kind of on the fence as to whether or not they should be voting? Well, all of the national offices except for the president are pretty much up there. Every 6 years the Senate comes up wherever you're actually at. You have two senators that run in your state, so one of them's generally every other 2 years. So 4 out of 6 years, two of them are running, if that kind of makes any sense. So, those offices are definitely up. In my state, I live in Texas, Beto O'Rourke is running against Ted Cruz. Beto O'Rourke is trying really hard to unseat Ted Cruz. I suspect he won't, and the reason for that is Texas is a Republican state. It's always pretty much been a Republican state. It probably shouldn't be, but it's just kind of one of those things. And I kind of wanted to keep this cast more to just vote as opposed to vote for this or vote for that. So there's a couple of things that are probably important to pay attention to. You're going to have whatever your Senate is, your congressperson is always running for office, so that means you get a chance to kick out somebody you don't like or put somebody in that you do like. Part of the problem with elections, every time we seem to have them, is apathy. People just don't want to vote. And I totally understand the reasons. There are a lot of people who don't think that their voice means anything, that the two political parties are running whoever they decide to run, and you're basically left choosing between one of two people that you may not actually want. It works really well if you're, totally wanting one of those two people to win, but if you don't like either one of them, you tend to have a problem, and we tend to end up with a lot of apathy. But even if you're apathetic towards your national offices, what people don't realize is they have a huge emphasis or a huge impact on whatever their state office or their state offices and all of their state initiatives. So there's a lot of things that you actually have a lot of power that you can actually make a difference with, because your vote means a lot more on the lower levels than they do on the higher levels. People don't even pay attention to their local areas. I can guarantee the majority of people, unless they're like totally franchised and really into specific candidates, have no idea who's running for a board of supervisors. Some don't even know who's running for mayor, or even if their person is running for mayor, or if their mayor position is actually open. So all of these types of things, and it kind of helps to just sit down and look through one of the local sections of Google to find out what elections are impacting me at this particular time, and then participate. Because the biggest problem you could have is to not participate. It doesn't mean you have to like any of the choices. I have a friend of mine who participates each and every time, doesn't like any of the candidates, so she walks in, chooses a ballot that's basically blank, turns that in, and has participated. I've known a couple of people over the years who have actually done that. So, I mean, that is participation. And the reason they do that is because people fought and died to give them the right to vote. So they take advantage of the fact that they do want to vote. And if there's somebody that they do care about, you know, like some dog catcher position or whatever the position is, or some initiative they really care about, well, then they participate in that. And if there's issues you care about, you should be participating. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people are just going to go, it doesn't really matter to me, so I don't really care, and they won't participate. So I'm telling you, participate. Whether or not you will, I mean, this is going to be happening in less than a month. Beginning in November is when it always happens. Don't be fooled by fake information saying elections are on weird days. Know the dates that you're actually supposed to be participating, and then know where you're supposed to go. Don't let other people throw misinformation at you. That's all I got to say. Vote. You know the old joke, vote often. Okay, shouldn't vote often because that's illegal. But vote.